so we'll go on to item 3, approval of minutes of regular meeting held June 8th, 2026.
Make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes as published from June 8th.
Second. Yeah. We got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Weaver,
Yes.
Kinsey,
Yes.
Parsons,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Logston.
Yes. We'll go on to item 4, reports from staff. Item A, city council report.
Our last meeting was a fairly lengthy one. There wasn't a whole lot on there that had to do with the airport. That would be real pertinent information for us out here. Except that there is some block cameras on airport premises there. The city did not reapply for the grant for the block cameras, which I believe there's them on airport ground, but they're still up and they will be up till that funding runs out. But besides that, there's really nothing super permanent for the airport. Oh, yeah. Blake Trickle will be the new city attorney, but that's not going to start till September 1st. Do you have any questions?
Are they still operational?
The block and
Yeah.
Depends on which city you're in right now.
Any questions on the finance report or the fuel revenue versus expense report?
That was in the online pack. Was it printed out here? Yeah. So I know we've got over $1 million in our CDs and investments. We've got 100-some thousand in cash. We're getting ready to have an agenda item where we'll obligate some of that. So
When does our budget that we did, when does it start? July 1. Sorry.
Right. Okay. Anything else? If not, we'll go on to the next item, 4B, which is the airport manager's report.
Okay, we'll start with fuel like we always do. I picked June and July here since we didn't have a meeting in June. So the first portion is June. It was a little bit of a slower month. Avgas 1,758 gallons, Jet A 6,907 gallons, a total of 8,665 gallons of fuel sold at the airport. Total net sales between oil is put in there too. We basically netted $5,399.85 if you add the net sales columns together of all fuel and oil. Take out the credit card fees and the profit's $47.43.89. July, a lot better month. Busy, maybe part due to Oshkosh, things like that happening. 2,507 gallons of avgas, 9,907 gallons of Jet A, 12,415.6 total gallons of fuel. And the net was 7,963.06, with the profit of, with the credit card fees taken out, 71,91.04. So July we had 26 large aircraft come through, 25 of those CAA. June was 18 large aircraft, 13 CAA, 2 non-CAA. it was nice to just split load. We've been, the second batch I caught at a lower price, like the first split load we did with Woodward, we were just getting out of that fuel the first half of July. Second half of July, I got into some cheaper fuel. So, the margins have increased a lot since the last half of July. I was making 40 cents a gallon in June. The first half of July, we were making over $1.14. That's on transits. That's not the locals have been getting 20 cents off of that. So margins were 20 cents and 94 cents on our local people. Between those two batches of avgas. Jet A, is pretty consistent. I've been getting some good pricing on it. You get better deals. And Jet A, we've been it's very, very competitive in all the fuel. And I know this is a big topic, but I'm having to watch Colts' prices. Ponca City will be low at times, all across here. Usually north into Kansas, they're higher on all fuel for whatever reason, but through here and south, looking at Sundance, El Reno sometimes sneaks in there. But with our CAA deal, we're probably the top. I want to say we're the top on CAA pricing. And I was able to buy a load of jet fuel. I had storage in the tank when I went really low. I didn't have to buy it, but I went ahead and pulled the trigger and got some cheap. I hit the low. And it took about a month to cycle into that lower fuel cost of fuel. And all the other airports are starting to go up because they're buying, like Tulsa, they're buying fuel more. So their prices were skyrocketing, and I kind of did my own little promotion of Alva when I dipped into that lower price fuel. We did 2 weeks of $3.98 fuel, and we still made we have to make a certain margin on CAA. We can't go up or down. So I submit that invoice, and we have to be at $3.98. So I bought lower than that. But it was neat to see for 2 weeks that we had some jets coming through like normal. And I think the $4 mark is kind of where it's at. We see 3, and they're diving in here. We're at 458 CAA right now, and it's just kind of like it's hot. And we're not seeing one jet every other day this month, but maybe that'll line out. We'll get cooler weather, and maybe these prices will come back, or we'll get some more traffic. But July was our best month out of those two. The red truck is finally moving on out of fuel. The red truck is finally out of here. We had a guy with Gov Deals named Sean Landers. He was nice enough to come down from Kansas City. He helped get pictures and took the truck and helped me list it. And they were able through Gov Deals to blast a bunch of websites to get it out to potential buyers. But I also ran it in our local newsroom for 2 weeks right up to our meeting date that we didn't have. So we ended the bidding right before what would have been our meeting in June. And it topped at $25,000, and that's what we agreed on our low number. We did the seller's approval on it, and it finally left on August 1st is when it left our property. And we don't collect until it leaves the property. It's basically held with government deals, like an escrow account type, and it takes up to 10 business days to get our money. Today was 6, business day 6, and say you haven't seen our money, it's supposed to be wired in. So we should be seeing our $25,000 this week.
Do you know where it went? Just in
Missouri, like
Kansas
City, Hannibal, I think, somewhere in
Nice.
Missouri.
So Gov Deals came through.
They came through. And then Sean was able to get with some of the city, Kelly and Sadie. So we do have more surplus stuff with the city. We have our old avgas truck. It's got weeds growing up to it, right? The old 88 Ford that we took the tank off. It's sitting there. We're paying insurance on this thing. And I said, well, let's just surplus it. So we're not paying insurance.
And that's one of the ones I think will be in city council on the thing for surplus.
But just cleaning some stuff up. So that's that on the red truck. Is there any questions on the red truck? We should be seeing our money this week. I check on it every day.
I will just add on the gov deals thing, we did just list 4 vehicles, I think, with them today.
Nice.
But not airport vehicles.
Right. See, good.
The ambulance service in Arkansas are enjoying the surplus ambulance that was sold.
Good.
They're having a great time. Great. They love it.
Hangar ground leases, I know July, that's when everything renews for everybody. We were late getting statements out. Everybody should be getting their statements for July anytime, if you haven't already gotten it. But, we just double checked our list on, mainly the monthly people are always, but it's the yearly and 30-year lease people. They should be seeing something in the mail, mainly those leaseholders.
So that's separate from our gas, which went out on time.
Right,
And obviously-
right, it's separated. I like to get it honed in where they all go out, you get your fuel
Right.
and your lease.
The gas all got billed out, just
Yeah.
leases.
The leases were a little bit, and I wanted, she had, when we were going through more, and I actually did 2 new leases for July. Ledbury ended up taking Eric Brewer's old hangar, east, middle, north share, east, middle, between Gary and James. So Bud took that lease over and did a yearly for his Skyline, because it's sitting there anyway. And then a guy from Kyle named Daniel Stanley has a Piper Pacer that he moved over here from Cherokee, and wanted it in the round top. So got 2 new deals going there, and hangar space is becoming more and more limited. But if you read in here too, I've got a guy also wanting to move a Champion from Texas because his wife took her job in college and he's a pilot. So there is room in the round top, but it'll be packed when we get him here. Any questions on hangar lease stuff? Other items that have happened since June, we've had the free testing out here, the orthotic protection system, checking it, everything passed, flying colors. They charge us $11.40 every 6 months.
We only have one tank now.
Gas tank. We renewed our annual service contract with ADB SafeGate for our AWAS. So these are the guys that come by quarterly and check our AWAS, make sure the weather's reporting like it should be. Everything's working like it should. And this kid's name's Jacob Featherstone. He came out with Casey Schaller. Schaller is from the FAA. The FAA comes out once a year, and it's 1st of July. The other 3 is just Jacob, but this time FAA was here. And actually the whole deal went smooth, everything checked out fine. Other than we still need the tower light replaced on the AWAS tower, which I just got it in this last week, the week before. When you go to order lights, this company Jacob works for, I asked him, I got a quote for $1,726. I'm just looking for a replacement light, and it's a whole kit. The whole kit is obsolete out there, so we've got to get 2 lights. It's basically 2 lights out there. And the whole kit, they put it up there. The whole assembly, there's wires, there's connectors, all that base. And I asked him, I said, hey, is there a cheaper place to get this anywhere? And they said, no, we only have the only FAA approved 8130 cat. It's got the FAA approved, the regional airport, in case checks it. And just by asking that, they said, well, we'll do 14 they knocked $259 off of that. But by the time that Northwest Electric, I called them, they're gonna put it up, they got the bucket truck, they're gonna switch it out. We're gonna be compliant there, but everything else was fine. I don't know any other way around. That's just kind of stuff we run into when it comes to a bulb or lightning strike or something happens. And we have a real light out right now that I'm looking into too. At the runway, unit identifier, one strobes, it went out. There's 3 of those. And so we'll see where that next meeting comes out to. I think, and then, like the OCC came out for a visit, did our high flow inspection report on the Jet 8 when it get passed. They will come back and do some more testing on our avgas. Just make sure everything's calibrated, that our fuel's calibrated right. Other items that I spent money on, I went over the light, and now I'm on just a voltage regulator for one of the Z turn mowers, 7408. So, any questions on that? I try to keep you all up to date on what we're spending on equipment and costs.
Good job. If we have no more questions for Tyson, we'll go on to the next item. Item number 5, discussion of possible action regarding fuel rates and discounts.
Okay, this comes back to me. I brought this concern up, like 2 months ago with what we're doing with our discounts. And my opinion on it is we need to revert back to where we were originally. When we got these pumps that take credit cards, they also take these cards. These are charge cards. Anybody can get one that's a tenant on the airport. It rents the hangar or ground. It flies airplanes. And they're really intended for tenants. We can't just be in the gift boy club and give them to anybody. We can, but they got to pay full price. If you're a tenant, you can get a discount at the pump using this. And I'd like to see more of this action than selling it off the fuel truck, discounting it off the fuel truck. The wear and tear on the fuel truck, most airports charge 25 cents a gallon extra. We're 20 cents the other way right now. So there's a swing of 40 to 45 cents. I'm not advocating to put an extra price on the fuel truck. I want to be a different airport. But I want it to be the pump. I want you to pay the pump price. It's $5.95. Pay $5.95 for the truck. Come to you. It's a luxury, in my opinion. The truck's a luxury. It takes money to maintain it, filter it, just like anything else. I love running the truck around. I'm not trying to discourage the truck. I love it. It's something I love doing. The concern is also, as in my research, is most airports are trying to make 80 cents to $1.20 a gallon. And we're averaging, and I've averaged it out, we're averaging 50, we averaged 54.7 in June and 57.9 in July. So our average is still back almost in the 1990s at 50 cents a gallon. And most airports are at the dollar line. That's where I wanted to bring this to your attention. I want us to be a different airport and cater to everybody, but on a business side, I'd like to, but on a business side, we need to try to make a little more, I think. The pump, I still is a great idea in my opinion. To use these, it's a little bit more management too, just looking at all the cards. But there's difference between wear and tear on our equipment, and somebody can come in, land, get fuel, and go to the hangar. Or start up and get fuel.
So you're saying there's no local discount when you get your lot truck?
Right now, there is a discount of 20 cents across.
But you're
promoting no discount.
promoting,
No discount on full service, is what I'm saying. So, no discount full service.
which is basically peel off the truck. Because you can't use the car. Anytime you use that car to
Well, what I'm saying is, and there's down there, Cash, most airports there's not, ones I've called the research are not more than a dime a gallon off discount at their self-serve pump. If they've got a card like this, they're getting a dime off.
So Tyson, are your filters on a time-based changeout or a hours-based changeout or gallons-based changeout?
Time.
Time-based. So it doesn't matter whether you pump 12,000 gallons out of the truck or 1,000 gallons out of the truck. You have the same cost for the filters and the maintenance of it. I would pretend that going a quarter mile down there, we're not wearing out the tires. We have a $68,000 some dollar new gas truck, jet truck, liquor store. But I understand what you're saying. That part of Alva, which has always been special, is the tenants did get treated with. I mean, I go back to the day we had that little half truck, whatever it was, the international, whatever. And put land and come get fuel.
But you paid the same price as the pump you used to get the truck. And that's what every time you go, these trucks take money to maintain. And that's where, that thing, you might pull up and the pump is not kick on, you gotta get a new pump on the truck. Hasn't happened, but it could.
pumps, tires,
What do you,
hoses.
and here's the thing too, there's guys that get a lot of fuel and there's guys that are taking advantage of the truck too, that are getting 2 or 3 gallons, and I'm making 80 cents to drive it down there in my time. You're paying me a certain hourly wage. I love doing it, it gives me something to do, but I'm just saying, if you factor in the time I'm spending and such, but it averages out, there's an average of, probably, I don't have it, but I'm gonna say 20, 25 gallons to fill it up.
So you say charging for a truck is pretty standard at airports?
Yeah, they're getting, they're charging, so if your price is $6, it's $6.25 to get the truck.
So,
If the airport has a truck.
If
Most
the
of them
airport-
don't even have trucks.
Yeah, some of them don't, but
So-
I'm basing this off regional, airport, jet capable.
what if we, to me, kind of a good solution might be, and if it would keep people from stopping here, then, tell me, but, if we have maybe keep the discount on the truck as it is on the pumps, but have a small per gallon truck charge that's for whether you're local or not, because if that's standard and there's other places to go in, and I don't know why we want it to. Is a 20 cent per gallon truck charge going to stop a jet from landing here and going somewhere else? Is that something they even look at?
No, so that's actually not.
You're going the other way.
You're going the other way. That's only for local-based customers that have a charge account through the city. That's only people get the 20 cent discount.
No. That's what I'm saying, a 20 cent, like an actual charge for the truck.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. We don't want to go, 20 cents.
The cost of the truck is basically a full, that's paying what the pump is. If you pull up to the pump, you're gonna pay the same price as the truck for a local guy, right?
Yeah.
Or a jet, correct?
Right.
So you're saying you don't want to charge people?
What I'm saying is wear and tear,
You want to eliminate the discounts, what he's saying.
on
the truck.
The full
The
service.
truck costs us to operate.
So I will tell you, it's going to cost me more to bring my Bonanza up here, fill up, start it up, taxi back to my hangar. Every start cycle on an engine costs you money. do that.
But it also costs the truck.
So it's, yeah, so it's,
That's what I'm,
It's full
it's a
service.
added benefit that local people should be willing to
it's,
pay.
full service is a
It helps
luxury, it's a
support
luxury
truck.
for nurses.
Dale, I was in the audience when you supported the discount for the local guys.
I do, still do. The card right there out here at this pump,
So you're
This was the
supporting out
original.
only off the pump, not off the truck.
right.
I disagree with that.
This was the original idea way back, as far as I know.
The trucks cost us money.
They're gonna cost the same amount of money whether you use them to drive down to Bob's Hanger or my hanger, or whether they sit underneath the deal. It's the
Yeah.
same amount of maintenance money.
And I'll argue with you about starting your airplane too, but that's not an issue we're just talking about here.
So I'm just gonna say, we're the only airport doing a discounted full service. I called Toby and he just laughed at me. You guys giving a discount off the truck? Are you silly? Are you guys? And we're the only airport doing it.
But you're still,
We're the only airport that has free breakfast every Sunday.
but are you saying do a discount on the pump? for
Yeah,
local?
not on the truck.
get your discount at the pump is what I'm
Well,
saying.
that's in my way of thinking, having the truck come down and paying the full price here,
It ain't a difference.
it's
in
the right way,
Hey,
it's
but
the
you're
right
helping,
thing to do.
you're helping the airport.
Yeah. The discount is something I didn't even know we had, so, all this year, so. I'm just saying, personally, I like the, 10% discount for
At
locals.
least.
It's not, now it's 20 cents even, right?
And we maxed it at 20 because we were at a percentage. And when we're trying to compete with Woodward and people on the fuel, if they're, $6 or a nickel under them, there's times we're only making 33 cents a gallon on that. That's not good. Like June, we made an average of 33 cents. Now, I was able to buy another thing of fuel a little bit cheaper, and we made $1.14, and it's averaging out to about 72 cents.
What's our volume?
I'm trying to get us where we're making, as a business, making a little more.
What's our volume compared to the other airports? Are we higher in volume than they are?
We get pretty good volume. I don't actually ask them, like, what volume are you doing? I'm keeping our price low just so we don't discourage pipeliners and other people going to our airports. We're keeping it. I mean, there's airports charging $7 a gallon. We are right where we need to be. And I'm just watching it like a hawk. I mean, math. One thing I'm good at is math, for the most part. It's, you look at back, I wasn't getting English or anything else really, but math, this is what, I look into it, I check out the airports, and we're right where we need to be.
Sitting here at this board, I'd probably buy now, my airplane's back the most fuel than anybody on this board. No, he's not on the board. No, I said on this board. I buy the most fuel now. Now, I'm buying a whole lot more now than my airplane's back.
I think what Tyson would like is just a motion from the board regarding this topic. Whether that be to have the discount remain on the truck or have the discount be only at the pump. And with the board's wishes, he'll do what the board says.
Yeah.
He does have a recommendation.
I don't want to
clearly.
think about it another day after tonight, but I'm just bringing it up because we're trying to get the airport we're trying to make some money.
This may not be popular, but I'd make a motion to do 10% at the,
10 cents,
Huh?
not a percent.
10 cents.
Can I,
20 cents.
can I suggest a motion?
I don't know yet, because I'll withdraw where I've started now.
Current discount at the pump now with no discount on gas truck.
I would say exactly that, yeah. Move to continue the current discount at the pump only and no discount on the truck.
That's correct. But what is the discount at
was saying that is, like, 20 cents is a pretty good chunk.
I'd say.
So if I have to make, if I'm trying to make my margin and I go over Woodward's price 15 cents to try to make our margin, you know, I mean, I want my pie that's landing here, if you feel, not going somewhere else to try to make.
We're low anyway, and then you take
We're-
20 cents off.
Yeah.
That's cutting into our budget.
We made 33 cents a gallon in June. And that's an all-time low. It has to be. To stay
Okay,
competitive.
my motion.
We've got a motion. No second. Can you restate the motion?
The motion is 20 cents discount off of the,
Current discount, because I thought.
Current
you
rate on the avgas pump, no discount on the avgas truck.
that's correct.
Okay, so I'm going to restate for the record, if I may. The motion is to maintain the current discount on the pump and no discount on the truck.
Because that is a luxury to have the truck go to a tank.
We got a motion. Second. I'll second it. Call the roll, please.
McDermott,
Yes?
Logston,
Yes.
Kinsey,
Yes.
Parsons,
No.
Weaver.
No.
We'll go on to the next item. Item number 6, discussion and possible action to accept the lowest bid for the construction of 100 by 100 and 60 by 60 hangars.
So we opened bids on Friday for the hangar projects. I'm going to get Toby on the phone while I'm kind of introducing them. But we did have good participation in the bid process. You'll see, you saw the unofficial bid tabulation. Hey Toby, we're just getting started on this agenda item. I've got you on here while I explain, and then maybe you can fill in where I mess up, if I mess up, and answer questions. But Friday we opened the bids. We did receive 7 bids. We had one other bidder show up that wasn't at the pre-bid, the pre-bid conference, so they weren't qualified to bid. But Calm Construction ended up with, there's a little bit of difference in the arithmetic because multiple of the bidders had issues with how they added up their bid sheets. But Markel, when they evaluated the bids, corrected all of those. And so what you're looking at is the corrected bid totals. Calm Construction had the lowest base bid at $1,075,765.32. The alternate one for the radiant heating, they also had the low bid there at $5,750. And the alternate bid number 2 for the 60 by 60 hangar, they did not have the low bid for that, but their bid was $546,779.10, which with their base and both alternates, their total was low at $1,628,294.42. Texoma Millwright came in lower or higher on the base bid, or second lowest on the base bid. They came in second lowest on alternate 1 for the radiant floor heating, Senior Citizen Center. So I reached out and I spoke with Commissioner Starks. He indicated to me that they, while they had issues with their project, they largely attributed that to their engineer, which is not the same as our engineer. But he said that the leadership with Calm Construction communicated well. They found ways to save them money on the project, and they also, if they make mistakes, they owned them and took care of them. And that he said if they bid another project, he wouldn't hesitate about using them on a future project. I think Toby's called around, and Calm did a hangar at, did you say Hinton?
Yes, sir.
Calm did a hangar at Hinton. No issues that were brought up with that. Park Hill hasn't worked with them before, but they don't have any reason to think that they wouldn't be able to do the job. And on top of that, the way I understand it, the FAA will not award us funding for for a second lowest bid. They'll only pay for the lowest bid. So that's kind of where we're at. We feel good about the bids. I would say we feel good about the bids. The other thing about the bids is they were underneath the engineer's estimate. So the total estimate was about $1.74 million, and this comes in at just under 1.63. With that, the city's portion, and this is kind of in the email that I printed out, had staff print out for you. If you look at option 2 in that email, our total everything for construction and non-construction is going to be 1.845, and the city's portion of that is about $130,000 under what we budgeted, $133,000 less than what we budgeted our share to be for the base bid and both alternates. I will point out one of those handouts that has the breakdown of the costs. Park Hill did add it in on the project under the non-construction total that there would be relocate of some kind of utility. We don't have record of the utility that's out here where this 100 by 100 is going to go, except that we have evidence that it appears something is leaking under the ground there and causing the grass to be greener. We don't think it's septic. We don't have record of a water line, but we have suspicion that there is something there. So that is also included in all the prices, and will be part of the grant project with the FAA. If there is nothing there and the grass just grows greener there for some reason, we won't experience those costs. We'll see a reduction in our share, and so will the FAA and the ODAA. But wanted to have something in there in the event that we did discover that we had to relocate some kind of utility that was accounted for in the project. If we don't account for it in the project, we eat that cost all on our own. If we account for it in the project, we share it with the FAA and the ODA. So,
Kelly, I might make one very minor correction on that. In what we have shown as option 2, where we're awarding both hangars, the
Say that again?
There was in the past, the city managers set a certain dollar amount that was set back as a no-spend thing in case the economy fell, the bottom fell out, something happened, that we had operating money for 6 months.
So,
And that number, but previously been 200,000. Is that still a policy of the city to set a certain dollar amount back or something like that?
it is not still the policy of the city for the airport board. But the airport board, if they want to have a certain amount set back, we have one CD that's got 441,000 in it, we've got one CD that's got 237,000 in it.
I see. So that's no longer a policy of the city.
It's not a requirement by law, and so the city reverted their policy back to whatever is required by law. If the airport wants to set something back and never touch it, unless there's a disaster, the airport can do that.
Right, so all funds are available.
All funds are available.
That changes the picture. Can we talk about the buildings at all?
We can, Toby's on the phone.
Right. So these are just some questions I had to we can find an answer. On the large one, the 100 by 100, on the south side of the building between that and the existing air there, is the grading going to be such that where water will drain and it not be a swamp between the two of them? I couldn't tell that there was much elevation change between the two.
There's, so Paul, you'll have to forgive me, I don't have the plans in front of me right now in the truck, but there's not going to be a significant amount of grading. I would say that it will likely drain as well as it does now. And if you've got the curb out by the road, there's not a whole lot of opportunity to change much over there.
How many downspouts do you have coming off the gutter on that south side?
Without the plans, I can't honestly tell you, Paul, probably 4 or 6 would be my guess.
Okay. And they're just dumping straight out?
Yes, sir.
Because my concern, as tall as that building is, and the other one, it could get pretty shady in there, and it could become a den for mosquitoes and other things like that. Never dry out on some of that. Sometimes I've seen in these large buildings, particularly where there could be a potential bathroom, having a floor drain in there, or like being able to more thoroughly clean the bathroom at times. Is that, I didn't note that in the drawing, is that a possibility still? To have that step in?
I mean, anything's a possibility. There will be an existing drain that we call for. We don't show a floor drain, no. Yeah, if that's something you want to add, I'm sure the contractor would be, I'm sure he would be willing to just turn around and say, hey, because you recall that all of the plumbing is just rough in. That's
Right.
finished.
Yep.
The electrical just calls for duplex outlets. Is it much of a change? Once construction is nearly complete, electrical's going in, I would love to see that go to a quadplex. Because two plug-ins, you know, if you've got a fan and a light, you have no place to plug in a drill or something else. And those are quite a distance between outlets.
And is that in the, are you referring to the big hanger or the small hanger or both on that?
Both.
Okay.
I mean, shouldn't be much of an expense. Yeah, it shouldn't be much of an expense to change.
I agree with you, but you've never met a contractor. You asked for a change of ownership. No, I'm not kidding. I agree. That should not be significant.
And 0.5% slope is on the 100-foot hanger, that would be how many inches?
6.
6 inches slope, okay.
Yes, sir.
I noticed on some of your walk-through doors, some of them swung out, some of them swung in. Was there a reason for that, or can they all swing in?
We can change. I mean, typically, most of the time our exterior swing out on, if it's a standalone door. Now, on
some snowfall, you have to scoot the door out in order to get into the hangar to open the door from the snow,
Except through the hangar door.
except there's black hole.
I will find out.
And then, on the big hangar, I can look at the drawing here, was there light switches at least for one row of lights at each walk-through door? So no matter which door you walked into, you could flip some lights on?
Because there should be, I will have to look, I don't want to tell you wrong, but yes, there should be. Normally we do when we have.
I might check that. I think there was one door on the big hangar that didn't have that, and on the little hangar, there was no light switches over by the walk-through door in the bifold door.
Okay.
So like if you came in that direction, you couldn't flip the switch on, flip the light on.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll go over that.
On the tube heating, it calls for the exhaust to go through the roof. Is there any specific reason why it doesn't go through the sidewall?
Not to my knowledge, but I'll check with our mechanical engineers.
Okay, the reason being is that,
That'd be a reason, but I will find out.
yeah, the reason being, because every time you cut a hole in the roof, you have a potential for a leak. Whereas if you exhaust out through the sidewall, there's less likely chance of leaking.
So if the board moves to accept Calm's bid, Calm Construction's bid, it'll go to city council on Monday for final approval.
I guess my question comes down to the fact that what prompted all this to begin with was the large building. And added the second one as our luxury for a potential client, which to my knowledge, you don't have any kind of firm contract on at this point to even lease it. So we're going with the that we don't know that we're going to receive either one if we're receiving any state income. So for the expense of the second building, is it worth the drop in our reserves? We're adding what we know we need to do in the next 2 or 3 years. Because if we end up doing renovations to this terminal or a terminal project at the current state funding, that's a 50-50 option, potentially.
No.
No, that's changed.
Well, we're working on those.
You know,
You have a tenant for the smaller building, you do not have a tenant for the big.
But is there a contract?
There's not a contract as far as written,
So there's a contract, you don't have a tenant.
but it is verbal. They want to do.
There's a verbal commitment, but there's not a contract. Nobody, I don't think anybody would sign a contract.
No, I
You
mean,
can't, there's no building to sign a contract on.
well, I'm just bringing it up. I mean, is it worth the expense for that? Knowing what other potential things we have in the next 3 or 4 years we need to do. Because we have not done a good job over the last 3 or 4 or 5 years of saving any oil money at all. And our cash has slowly dwindled. Spend it for good things. Spend it for 5% here and there, doing lots of things. But we're not accumulating cash or spending.
Building costs aren't going down either.
Right. I mean, you have to weigh all that. But, but this isn't your last expense either. You still have to run the electrical to these buildings. You still have to run the water to these buildings if they use them. We still have to obtain equipment to move the large airplanes in and out of the big hangar, because we don't have that. So there's other expenses down, and you have an increase in insurance and increased utilities. And our overhead out there. So, does it warrant, second building, is it a good enough deal with what we got here to warrant that expense, knowing you've got these other expenses down the road, and/or possible terminal thing, possible fence around the airport thing, possible parking lot thing? I mean, what cash, because last I knew the city wasn't in much of a position to help us with our fire defense.
city, as far as, and this hasn't been discussed with city council, but with staff, maybe Joe and I have talked about it, but as far as the utility authority is concerned, if the utilities are upgraded on the airport grounds and the utility authority were to be able to meter everybody's water, all that, then the utility authority, in order to be able to have billing for the utilities, would be able to kick in, or should be able to kick in for that. Of course, that's not a decision that I or any single council member can make, but the city has invested, whether it's local match or whatever, between grants and everything, just in water infrastructure, well over $20 million in the last 10 years. So I think the city is demonstrating a commitment to utility improvement, and I don't think that this would not be off the table.
Any more discussion? Okay, and what action are we going to take?
So I'm not telling you what action to take, but I think the action to be considered, either to approve or not approve, would be Calm Construction's bid for base bid, alternate 1, and alternate 2, with the dollar amount. When we make the bid, put the dollar amounts in the bid, or when we make a motion, put the dollar amounts with the bids, or any combination of base bid, alternate 1, alternate 2. That's the action that you either will or won't take.
Would you like to read back that motion?
If you tell me what you want to do,
I say,
I can help you work the motion.
personally, you gotta build it before you can start drawing folks. And we have the capability of doing something first class. My opinion, with the money that's here, I think we ought to do it. I mean, it shows that we're promoting, it shows that we're growing. We can sit on those funds that are there and just let them grow. And I realize, it's a good nest egg, but we've done some pretty nice things here, and to do that is going to show that we're for real. In my opinion, I would say,
So if I were to word that motion, I would say, make a motion to approve Calm Construction for the base bid, alternate 1 and alternate 2. The total price of $1,628,294